my eyes.
Okay, so I'm going to run a little experiment before we get to Italy. So we're currently in a Wetherspoons just to compare prices. So we're looking for one medium glass of red wine and 1 pint of Budweiser, and we're looking at £13.25. And we'll see what happens when we get to Italy.
Come on over, baby, that's alright. Would you hate me if I pulled you closer? If only for another night. I'm trying, baby, but I just can't forget.
So we made it here quite late last night. This is our hotel. It is an agroturismo hotel, so it's one of those ones that's nestled in nature, and I don't know whether you can see it, but the nature is beautiful. But obviously when we arrived last night it was pitch black. It is February, so it's time to get out and get exploring. We have a number of viewings lined up today. We want to see the local area. We want to see if we can navigate ourselves around a little bit. So follow along with us and we'll take you around to each one of the houses and you'll see what we see.
Do this every time, it's just so classic. Still don't know why we let go. I'm trying to find a little closure. I guess we just need some time. But if you wanna come on over, well baby, that's alright. Would you hate me if I pulled you closer? If only for another night. I'm trying, baby, but I just can't forget you. Can't stop, no, can't stop overnight. Can't stop when your heart is on the line. Can't stop, no, we can't stop overnight. Can't stop when your heart is
So that's house number 1 done. I think we'll follow up later with what we think about all the properties once we've seen them. It's a really lovely house, brand new roof, great construction. Not sure that it's the right location for us, and I think it might actually be a little bit too much work, which is unusual to hear me saying that, considering I'm like, oh yeah, fine, it'll be fine, put a bit of plaster on it, it'll be fine. So we're going to go now to a small village called Carbonesca, which I love the sound of. Carbonesca is one of my favourite foods. So we're going to go to Carbonesca now and have a look at another detached house. Same estate agents, different lady this time. So we are on our way there now and we'll follow up once we've seen this one.
Can't stop, no, we can't stop overnight. Can't stop when your heart is on the line. Whisper softly that I might see you again. Hold me down and watch the water rise. Pull me out and bring me back into this life. 'Cause I'm ready for
House number 2 in Carbonesca. Carbonesca is a gorgeous little village. Really beautiful, very tree-lined, very calm and quiet and slow. And we pulled up at a nice house. We're not quite sure what we would do with the inside. It felt a little bit triangular, but I think the deal breaker for us was it appears that we would then be right opposite a house that has a number of huskies by the sounds of it. I think they might be goodness, what do you call it?
Oh, they've got a kennel of huskies.
A kennel, that's it. So I think it might be a commercial kennels, and which is a deal breaker for us. We're trying to escape dog noise, not get more of it. So I think that one's a no. Number 3 viewing that we were going to see has just been taken off the market, and that's just luck of the draw. That's just where we are. I'm not entirely sure it ticked all of the boxes anyway. But it was there, so we thought we would have a look at it. So we're not going to lose sleep over it. What's meant to be is meant to be. So what we're going to do now is go off into the local town, Gualdo Tardino, and explore, have a look around, see if there's some estate agents that we can pop into, have a chat with them and maybe explain what it is we're looking for, and they might keep us in mind for anything that might be new to market, might be off book, anything like that. Okay, day 2 of house hunting in Umbria. We are off to a town called Spoleto. It's about an hour away from where we stayed from our first day's worth of house hunting. This is one that Shane found. I don't know an awful lot about this house, and I'm keeping it that way so that I will be pleasantly surprised or unpleasantly surprised, one or the other. I'm leaving it up to Shane to decide whether this is a good one or not. So we're meeting the agent at 10 o'clock. We're about an hour away. We are on the motorway or the SS3, which heads in the direction of Roma, and then we'll come off at Spoleto. So we will take you along for the ride on this one. Hopefully you'll like it as much as Shane does. We've just been to a house up in the hills above Spoleto that the agent has taken us to. We didn't film it. We were there briefly. It's been unoccupied for 10 years. They were built in the 80s as a set of holiday homes, but the residents kind of moved in and stayed. And it was a really nice holiday home, but there were steep steps. It was hidden in trees. It was beautiful, but you would struggle to get sunlight. We would struggle to get our parents down the stairs. After about 10 years, we'd struggled to use the stairs. And it was maisonette condominium, so we had the top 2 levels, but there was somebody living underneath us, so that is not something we're after. We are currently on our way to another property that the agent has suggested might be more to our kind of list of things that we want. So we're following along with him now, and we are 5 minutes out, so we'll let you know how that one goes.
It was too much to say, too much to face down, save face and hope it would work out. Played safe and hope that you come around. But now it's too much to take, too much to figure out. Check me, nothing to say now. Dead weight, we're on the way down. Now I'm in a free fall with nothing to hold on to. Racing for the end, pray for the wind to slow down the feeling and let me somewhere new. Staring down the ground, it's coming soon. Wishing I could just free fall into you. Wishing I could just free fall into you. Wishing I could just free fall into you.
So what did you think about the last house?
Too many trees.
There weren't any trees. Oh, you mean the last house, not the last house. So I went last house is
No, the last house.
we
So
looked
the
at.
last house, too many trees, and the stairs. Like I said, the stairs are way too steep. But just the amount of leaves
Oh, yeah.
would do my nut in.
And there was a dog barking at us next door.
And there was a dog barking next door. But the view was nice.
The view was beautiful.
But just not from the front of the house. The front of the house was in total shade. They're very. I do find that Italian estate agents are very good at hiding the surrounding areas of a property.
Piece of advice number 1 would be, if you can, do your very best to try and find it on Google Maps, because if you can pinpoint where it is, Google doesn't lie.
No.
And I'm not suggesting the estate agents lie, but what they will present it in a light that isn't necessarily truthful. And what we also found or realised was that some of the agent photos are quite old. So they might have only been unoccupied for a year, but by the time you've seen it, it's been unoccupied for significantly longer.
Yeah, a lot of properties have decayed a lot more from what the photos originally are.
Absolutely. But so that was property number 2. Too many leaves. I would have broken my neck on those steps.
I love the fireplace though.
Fireplace was immense. It was built into it was like an L-shaped room, and it was built into the internal corner and had this trumpet shape that came up from it. Just amazing.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was no good, unfortunately.
So the last house, which we didn't film. I'm going to say didn't film because I haven't seen lots of coming off your phone yet. But
I did film it.
Yeah, it was.
So this was an off the cuff. The agent said, "Do you want to go and see it?" And it was so high up in the hills. It was so high up in the mountains. I nearly had a nosebleed. So we call it the nosebleed house.
Yeah.
And it was empty.
But it was attached to some sort of entertainment.
No, it was above that. So the only way I can describe it is at 10 kilometres up in the hills outside Spoleto. Halfway up that hill was what looked to be, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but it looked to me to be a holiday camp, aka Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, exactly that.
And it was empty because it was out of season, and I get the impression there was like a central like parade ground, fairground type space and hotels that were boarded shut, and I get the impression that it's alive for about 4 months of the season. And then we carried on past that all the way up into the mountains till we basically reached the top, and there was this farmhouse, and the farmers had built this property. And it had no windows, no doors, no floor. But he showed it to us because we'd said, we're not afraid of the project, and we're not, but
that was extreme.
I'm not sure where we're supposed to be.
4 walls and a roof. No doors, no staircase, no windows.
No. And besides that, it was too small anyway. But yeah, that was enough to give you a nosebleed and quite something.
Yeah.
But the view, I think I did take a small video of that.
I think it was like the highest point of Spoleto.
Above it, yeah.
But that's too much. Mm. And they said, you got private access at the back. But you had to create the drive.
You had to create the drive to create the private access.
It wasn't there either.
Yeah. So overall, what would you say about our first foray and our house hunting in Umbria?
We were unprepared, unorganised. We were organised as far as flights, hire car, and our accommodation was concerned. Mm-hmm. But as far as maximising the amount of houses we could have viewed per day, we could have done better. Mm-hmm. But we found an Italian restaurant to go and sit in, so all was not lost. But it's not really a holiday.
I think we did the best we could for our first trip, and I think we have decided that Umbria is not the right location for us.
No.
It's a little bit too farmland.
Although...
And a little dry, I thought.
So the first house we did see on the first day, I really liked the house.
Yeah.
We did vision what we could do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we said earlier, the estate agents are very good at hiding the surrounding areas. So they give you a picture of the view, but that was only one angle. What they didn't say to us left and right of the property was farms.
Yeah.
Who had a ransom amount of dogs each.
It sounds like we're mentioning about dogs.
I know.
Oh God, we're not. I love animals. It's just I wasn't expecting a pack of 5 or 6 of them to surround the car on the way in, and that house has been unoccupied for 10 years, which means that's the dog's playground. This is their gaff.
But you just know that the road coming down, because it was very high up, so the road coming down, in the winter it was going to be snowed, and you would need a major 4x4. And the other biggest problem with it is if I said to you, I'm going to pop out for a pint, I'll be gone for an hour. Which is, I know we want to be in the countryside, but we didn't want to be that isolated.
I don't think we're competent enough to be that isolated.
No.
We don't know the language well enough. We don't know the area well enough.
No.
And I think that's a consideration for us.
Plus we're city folk. But we don't want to be in the city. We're city folk that don't want to be in the city anymore. But close to, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, takeaways. Be more organised. Try and get more viewings in. Be more research oriented before you get there. Try and find them on Google Maps. Some of them, they don't like to give you locations because they've been unoccupied for a while, and obviously they don't want them damaged or whatever. But try and find them so that you are a bit more prepared, a bit more organised. Book more viewings. Spend less time drinking alcohol.
Oh, that reminds me. On the airport channel, we found the price of a glass of wine and a pint of draft Budweiser was £13.25.
Yeah.
We went to the first night we ate in a local supermarket. We
didn't eat in the supermarket.
No. We bought from the supermarket. We took it back to our accommodation. We bought a whole bottle of red wine.
Montepulciano d'Abruzzo.
Yeah.
So regional wine.
For £3.
It's about £3.50. €3.50. So it's about £3.
Yeah.
It was under £3.
So it's a lot
and
cheaper.
It was really nice wine. Which we're kind of expecting. We expect the life to be there. We expect the cost of living to be lower. We expect the pace of life to be slower. And I think that's one thing that you need to be prepared for. You can't go guns blazing and expect it to be a British or an American sensibility towards the speed of life. It's La Dolce Vita for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, we one of the things that we wanted to kind of bring to you, and hopefully we will do over the course of the next few videos, is those typical examples of cost of living. How much is it to reasonably buy this, to go here, to do this? We started navigating around looking at supermarkets and places where it would be reasonable and easy for us to go and get a week's worth of food, not relying on local markets and so on entirely in case that slips up. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's good.
But Umbria is just beautiful. We caught it in beautiful sunshine at the beginning of February. It was fresh, but it wasn't cold. It was colder here when we came home.
Yeah.
And we live in the West Country, so that's already tempered weather anyway.
Yeah. So now we just need to. We've both got a bit of work to get on with at the moment that could earn some pennies. And then in a couple of weeks we'll be heading back out for another trip, different area this time.
Yeah, so you've been looking at houses in the Abruzzo region, which is below Umbria, and ranges. So they have the Apennine Mountains. It carries that one down, and carries off towards the coast as well. So we flew into Ancona Airport in Umbria and saw Ancona and that area. This one is the next section down, and we will fly into Pescara Airport, and we will go and stay possibly Pescara, possibly Chieti, and have a look around. I think it's been really useful because it has highlighted for us what we do like, what we don't want, what we're willing to consider. It's really kind of started to narrow that down an awful lot. And I think some of the houses that we found that we're going to go and see in Abruzzo are more to our liking, and they're closer to the coastline. And I think I didn't realise that was important, but I think it probably is to be within shooting distance of the coast, because again, we're West Country folk here, and I've grown up next to the coastline my entire life. So yeah, so that's the next one.
Cool. Let's get on with it.
So another video coming soon, and like, subscribe, and we'll try and keep more of this coming. We'll try and keep explaining our trip and showing you the houses and the lifestyle and so on and so forth.